So what we're going to look at now is a project we call Scribbling with Typeset. And the idea is to bring the sort of nice, fluid, natural manipulation we see for multi-touch sort of smooth rotation and translation for just moving objects around to text composition. So the way we think about this is current ways of composing text are I can take a stylus and I can write something out where I'm shaping the letters as well as positioning where they are with my hand. Or what I can do is I can put a cursor down and I can hit this symbolic input device, a keyboard, and the cursor will kind of like just spit out letters as it goes. Don't have as much control over the position of the characters, but I'm very, very fast. With handwriting, it's hard to necessarily tell what the user is doing. I mean, there's some handwriting recognition, but it isn't perfect. With the keyboard, it's very clear what they've written, but it's not as expressive. There's something missing there. So for myself, even though I have a laptop, I still use handwritten notes much of the time when I'm composing freeform notes, and not just when I'm brainstorming, but when I'm in class. And I feel like there's something missing there, and I want to get that back. So what we have set up here is you can control the position of the letters with a stroke of the finger, and then you can type to the line like so. And see that there's kind of this pre-buffer of positioning the letters. So I can go like so. The next set of letters will be put here, and I can just type along like so. And the end of the line, the letters will go off in whatever the last vector was. And you also see there's this visualization of letters coming up from the keyboard right there, and going back to the keyboard when I backspace, because of course letters are stored at the keyboard. And the idea is that that's sort of extensible to multiple users working on a text composition project. So what I like about this is it's much faster for me to compose things than it is by handwriting, and I also have much less fatigue because I can just keep going and going and going, and my hands get cramped. So I in fact use this for brainstorming about this very project itself. So let me load one of those files from before. And so here's a brainstorming file I made in this program. So you can see that this doesn't look like a brainstorming document you'd make when you were typing in sort of a regular Word document or text file. And there's a lot of like extra information. So you see that some lines are straighter than others, some lines are kind of more unsure, and I believe there's a lot of expressive power in that. And what's nice also is that there's uncertain ordering, so that there's some ideas written over here and there's some ideas written over here, and in a document it would sort of force me to order those things unless I made explicitly columns or text boxes. And what's nice is that I can just start moving these things around and rearranging them once I get kind of new ideas. And I'm like, well, maybe these two ideas go together, or maybe these two ideas go together. And there's a huge, huge value in that spontaneity that current keyboard input doesn't really allow for. And even we can't even do that with our handwritten notes. We can make kind of linking lines, but it's not quite the same. So I can type to a line like so, but I can also make shapes if I use two fingers, like so, where I get different letter sizing. I can do things like where it telescopes down and such. And there's obviously a little bit of work I have to do on making the typeset better, but there's a lot of kind of expressiveness in what I can do. So I want to emphasize what this is for. This is for quickly composing freeform text and being expressive with what I'm saying, with what I want to say, mostly for myself. This isn't meant to be like something I'm going to present to someone else. This is more for me to generate ideas in the moment. This is meant to be sort of a brainstorming aid. If I was going to create a magazine cover, or create a work of art, or some sort of animation for the beginning of a movie, this isn't the right thing to do because I have very, very coarse control. But the fact that when I want to draw a line, no matter what, it's not quite straight. And so the attitude that I have at the time when I draw the line will vary what the result is, which is much like what handwriting is. When I feel like I look back at old documents that I've handwritten, and I'm trying to figure out what I meant at the time, I get a lot of information from the way the letters are written and the way it's expressed. And so, let's see. So let me load an image. Right. So something that I do a lot in my note-taking is I make little diagrams and I annotate them. So what we have here is I can take this diagram, move it around, zoom in, standard stuff. And if I plant 2 fingers on it, I can create a little call-out by making a little loop, and I can type to the call-out. And maybe I'll say like, this is a leg down here, joint here. And I can, move that around and shrink it down, and then, bring it back up if I want to. So I have this more kind of fluid flow. And I also set it up so you can also draw little lines, like so, where a tap at the end disambiguates it from a line that I meant to type to versus a line that you're going to draw. So same with the callout. I don't decide that it's a callout until I've gotten to this looping portion. So kind of the choice there is just to delay the user's decision as much as possible, let them have as much time to think about it while they're drawing the stroke. And I can, erase these lines like so by doing like sort of a standard scrub out thing. Same with these callouts, that works out. And last but not least, we have some initial kind of editing methods. We have this, I just put text on a line. We have this ability to cut the text like so. It's not 100% right now, but now I have sort of 4 different text bodies. And there's a few things I want to look at more with that. So that's one of them, the ability to cut. And we also have this ability to overstroke. Like a lot of work has been seen in sketching. So say I have a body of text selected, I can start stroking along the bottom of it, and I can change what the layout is. Which is nice because this doesn't exist in handwriting at all. This is something completely new. So say I have all these, and there's just jumbles of letters right now. Let's say I have all these ideas in this one spot right here, and I want to really fit this idea in. I can kind of put it here and then start overstroking and manage to fit it around. And say I get this really big line of text. I can do all sorts of ridiculous things with it. Yeehaw.